Hi, if you want to watch exclusive content with hot girls that you won't watch on YouTube, namely where Naruto roasts Kushina and Mikoto and many other hot girls without restrictions, then visit my Boosty channel at the link in the description. Sometimes fate gives you gifts, good and not so good. And I got exactly such an unpleasant gift. No, of course I feel good lying under a car, but still. Oh, and the day started so well. I woke up, washed my face, combed my hair. My mom called me and said that I would have a little brother or sister. Oh, how I wanted to see who it was. But I was not destined. Why did I want to be a hero? Save a drunk man who crawled under a car? Why? When my mind started to fade, I felt warmth. As if the sun had warmed me. And then darkness. Neither warmth nor cold. Suddenly waking up, I looked around, several torches on. I didn't get it. Were they flying? Wow. And then a man appeared in front of me. Although I don't know what to call it. He was in a white yukata and white loose pants, with 2 small growths on his forehead. Hello? I began. I greet you, the stranger replied. His voice sounded quite loud. And this, excuse me, who are you? I am Hagoromo Otsutsuki. What am I doing here? You died. However, I liked your action and I will give you a second chance. Only you will have to get used to the new world. Do you agree? I stared at him. They're giving me a second chance? But what kind of new world is this? And wait, Hagoromo Otsutsuki. That's from Naruto. So there's a chance I'll get into the shinobi universe? Okay, whatever. Yes, I agree. Okay then. Everything began to spin in a terrible kaleidoscope of colors. Opening my eyes again, I saw a woman of about 20 years old with black hair and the same eyes, who was holding me. My arms and legs did not obey. Shit. Then a man leaned over me and smiled, saying, "She looks so much like your mother, let's call her Akuma?" he asked. The girl looked closely and smiled too. Let's. Equals part 2 equals. And so 4 months passed from the moment I was born. And I understood everything approximately. My dreams came true and I got into the world of Naruto. My name is Uchiha Akuma and I look like my mother, although everyone says that I look like my grandmother whom I have never even seen. It turned out that the woman who held me was my mother from this world, and the man is my father. Their names are Okami and Karasu Uchiha. We live in the Uchiha quarter, of course. And we all have to survive the attack of the Kyuubi. Hokage is Minato. You ask, how did I know? And Dad never stops praising him. No, he's good, but damn. Another month passed. And then Sasuke was born. Everyone congratulated Fugaku and Mikoto, including my parents. I barely saw Sasuke, and then I noticed Itachi. A month and a half passed. When my mother was walking with me and Mikoto, we met Kushina. The conversation went according to canon. Damn, did it really happen that fast? I just learned to speak a little and already Kyuubi. Oh well, we'll survive. About 4 hours later, Kurama appeared in Konoha. It was terribly scary, but I tried not to cry. Unfortunately, it didn't work. Mom made seals and summoned a wolf. She put me on it and sent me to the bunker. And she stayed. Dad left before that. Please live. The call faded after another half hour in the bunker. Was I really alone? But they are so strong. I started crying again. A boy approached me, Itachi's age, no, not even a couple of years younger. What is it? He asked. He's gone. And that means something happened to Mom. I answered through tears. Maybe she just needed to summon this particular wolf? Maybe. But suddenly, don't think about the bad. Suddenly the ceiling is broken by the tail of Kyuubi. I have a question, what were the censors doing at that time? A tail crawled through a hole in the roof and started to destroy everything. When the tail was flying towards me and was very close, I felt everything slow down. Pain pierced my eyes. Then someone caught me and saved me from imminent death. I blinked and the pain disappeared, as did the slow effect. I looked at the boy who was talking to me. His eyes popped out of his head in surprise. What was that? Did you really awaken the Sharingan at such an early age? I could barely hear his cries because I was unconscious. When I woke up, I tried to get up, but I remembered my age. My body control was so weak that I could barely sit up. When I came to my senses, I remembered everything. The attack, the missing summoning, and the Sharingan. I remembered that feeling. However, I realized that I was in a hospital. And it was better not to attract attention. Damn, my throat was dry. I wanted to drink, but there was no water. And just when I thought about it, the Iranian came in. And who said that the power of thought does not exist? Huh? Oh, are you awake yet? He tore me away from my jubilation. Well yes, but what can't you see? No, of course you can see it. Okay then. Why did you come? I need to talk to you. About what? About you see, I heard that you awakened the Sharingan, he began, as if from afar. Well yes. I know it's unusual to wake him up at such an age. But I don't think that's why you came here. Okay, I figured it out. I really didn't come here for that. You see, your parents, my heart sank. That was what I was afraid to hear the most. They died. But they died as heroes. Defending Konoha. Tears started running down my cheeks. I wasn't bawling, the tears were just running. I remember my mother from that world used to say that quiet tears are the most bitter. And now I understand everything. When is the funeral? They were yesterday. I missed a blow to my heart again. But how? How long was I unconscious? 4 days. I see. Can I have some water, please? Yeah, I'll bring it now. Thank you. He left and brought water. Then he left me alone again. Alone in this world. Well, how can I live on? Well, okay, they gave me a second chance, and I have to use it. But now it will be difficult, very difficult. A year has passed. I learned to walk a long time ago and was sent to an orphanage. When I finish the academy, I will be given an inheritance. And in 5 years, they will give me an apartment. Oh, an unforgettable second life awaits me. I was walking down the street, and when I entered an alley, a man in a cat mask appeared in front of me. Hokage-sama asked me to bring you to headquarters. Okay, let's go. He picked me up and moved us with a shunshin. Oh, I've never tried that before, and I don't want to again. We ended up right in the Hokage's office. I don't like that old man. Oh, my heart feels like he didn't call me for nothing. Oh, and no one mentioned the Sharingan for a whole year. Ooh, it's scary. You can go, cat. There is Hokage-sama, said my guide and left. Did you want something, Hokage-sama? I started. Oh yeah. I was waiting for you. I wanted to ask how you're doing. Haven't you learned to activate the Sharingan yet? Of course, I'm Vanga. Things are good, but I haven't learned the Sharingan. Anything else? Huh? No. You can go. Thank you, Hokage-sama, I said and left. Phew, I was scared. Okay, I'll go home. Well, that turned out badly. I was walking towards the orphanage, and then I noticed these rough features of a 5-year-old in the crowd. This was the boy from the bunker who turned out to be Shui, whom I didn't recognize at such a young age. Hey! I recognized his voice. Noticed. I turned around, he was standing right in front of me. I blushed, he smelled like cinnamon and apple. Hey, hi, I smiled. Hello, he smiled back. Long time no see. How are you? It's fine. Listen, you're an Uchiha, why don't you live in the neighborhood? I don't know, they just put me in a shelter and that's it. I see. We need to fix it. He dragged me towards the Uchiha quarter. Hey, wait. What do you want to do? To put you where you belong, he said, smiling. To settle you where you belong, he said, smiling. These words made me feel warm inside. So pleasant. His smile was like the sun. It shines and warms. We approached the Uchihas. Entering the clan gate, he led me to Fugaku. My heart was pounding like crazy. I haven't been here for a long time. Okay, this quarter is my home. Shui approached the door. An argument could be heard behind it. No, this one doesn't fit. Does he look like a genius who could hold back the Hokage? But who then? We were given a deadline to catch the criminal, and this deadline is almost up. Take Karasu, He's a more or less normal candidate, and he's already dead. Let's pretend that we conducted an investigation and found the criminal. But he was a loyal and strong fighter, Fugaku-sama. Do you want us dead? Or do you want to go to jail as a criminal yourself? No, what are you saying? Okay, you're free to go. Hi. We quietly walked away and loudly tramped towards the office. Fugaku-san, can I? Shursui asked timidly. Come in. Did you want something, Shursui? Yes, Fugaku-san. And what is this? I wanted Akuma Uchiha to live in the quarter. I came out from behind his back. Oh, Akuma! Haven't seen you in a while. How are you? Almost everything is fine. However, I don't feel very good living in the shelter. I see. We'll figure it out. We left the office and left Fugaku to think. What should we do with the accusation? They want to desecrate the memory of my father. I won't allow it. Shursui looked at me with regret. Oh, what should we do? Okay, we'll figure it out. Listen, we'll think of something. He patted me on the shoulder encouragingly. I looked into his eyes. They were full of determination. Yeah. I decided to move forward with him. A week passed and I was moved to the quarter. And on the same day, my father was accused of attacking Konoha. As soon as I heard this, I ran to Fugaku's office. Why? Why was my father accused of assault? Because your father did it. But when it all started, he was with me and my mother. It could have been a clone. No. It was him. Listen. He put his hands on my shoulders. The elders are simply threatening to destroy the clan. I can't sacrifice the clan just like that. But why him? I asked quietly, my voice trembling with tears. Because your father died and he would have agreed to it. Why are you so sure? Maybe he would have agreed before, but not now. He wouldn't want my mother and me to suffer. We would have forced him. I looked at him and realized that it was useless to argue. I left, closing the door behind me. Entering my room, I realized that I could say goodbye to a normal life. I woke up in the morning and went to make breakfast. I live in a dorm room with the Uchiha now. When I went back into the room, I found a note on the bed. It said, "Your training starts tomorrow at 6 at the clan training ground." Well, that's true. Life will never be the same. 7 a.m. Uchiha clan training ground. An hour ago I started training, and I already want to bury myself. Yasu-sensei drove me like some kind of dog. I can't do that. First he made me run 30 laps around the training ground, which is 1 by 1 kilometer. After that I was already half dead. And then he came up with a good idea. To train at this pace until lunch. And then another theory. Well, no way. I won't survive until tomorrow. And Yasu-sensei seems like a good person. He looks like an ordinary Uchiha, black eyes and hair, low long tail. But the pretty face, which is typical for all Uchihas, is spoiled by a scar in the form of a cross on his forehead reaching to his ears. He turned out to be a terrible person. That's enough practice for today. I'd been waiting for these words for ages. Hooray. My voice sounded quiet and lifeless. I went to the store. On the way to the shop I felt hateful glances in my direction. They literally burned. Having entered the shop I bought some groceries and went home. Then suddenly I heard screams. Demon! Murderer! Kill him! I followed the screams and found a crowd in which there was a boy with golden hair and blue eyes. They were pushing him, calling him names, and throwing him on the ground. I couldn't take it anymore and ran to help. Everything suddenly slowed down again like in the bunker. I ran up and blocked him with myself. The people saw my eyes and retreated. And I took the boy by the hand and led him to me. The Sharingan disappeared and I felt pain, so strong. But I gritted my teeth and went on. Having brought him to my room, I gave him a towel and a change of clothes. And I took the bags of food and went to cook. When I finished, this boy came. So how are you? I asked. Fine. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, by the way. And I will become Hokage Databeo. I see. And my name is Uchiha Akuma. A beautiful name. Thank you. Oh, are you hungry? Naruto didn't have time to answer because his stomach answered for him with a loud rumble. We laughed, and I sat him down to eat. And suddenly I remembered about the theory. I walked Naruto home and ran to the library. "You're 2 minutes late." "Sorry, Yasu-sensei. The first theory and you're late. That's why I'll give you additional literature." "AAA." A groan escaped me. "Hee hee. So let's begin. Do you know what chakra is?" "Yes." "Describe what a chakra is." "This is a combination of spiritual and physical strength, a combination of yin and yang." "Okay. And do you know, that was the format of our lesson. We studied until dinner. Although I liked it. Opening additional literature, I found a bunch of descriptions of training for the SCCH. I tried meditation. Well, first I had to learn to feel the chakra. But I couldn't do it right away. Then I decided to eat and go to bed. After a week of grueling training, at the end of which I meditated, I felt chakra. By the way, during these trainings I began to study taijutsu, kenjutsu, and shurikenjutsu. With shurikens, I can only hit 6 out of 10 targets, but that's not bad. Now I'm sitting and meditating, expanding my SCH. Oh, now I have even more to worry about. Yasu-sensei is very cheerful. And today he promised that he would treat me to a chiraku ramen. I had never eaten there and decided to try. And then the opportunity came up. Sensei lost the bet. I bet that I would hit 8 targets, and luck smiled on me. When we entered, a pleasant smell of pork hit my nose. And I ordered a double portion of miso soup with pork. Oh, I ate my fill with 1 serving. How did Naruto eat 7 servings in the anime? And then Naruto appeared. "Oh, hello Akuma-chan." "Hello Naruto. How are you?" "Seems okay." "Listen, I haven't seen you here before. And this is the first time in my life that I'm here." "What?" But how?" His face lengthened and he looked at me like I was crazy. Then he calmed down and we chatted, he eating ramen for coupons and I just sitting at the table. Suddenly, out of nowhere, some drunk chunin came and decided to show off in front of his friends. "Listen, demon, what are you doing here? Get out of here." Having said this, he swept the uneaten remains of Naruto's ramen off the table. I stood up and stopped his hand with which he wanted to hit him. "Listen, aren't you the daughter of that same freak of a sub-shinobi? The one who attacked Konoha? You! How dare you call him that?" Sharingan was burning in my eyes and I kicked him in the face. That's how the fight started. Afterwards we were separated. And I was sent to the Hokage. "Well, and what was that?" asked Sarutobi looking at me. "Nothing special." "Nothing special? You broke a man's nose on the street. You shouldn't have said bad things about Dad and Naruto." I rubbed my hand. "It hurt terribly. Just come to terms with the fact that your father did it. It's not him. That's it. Go to the clan. Fugaku is waiting for you there." I looked at him with an angry look, slammed the door and left. When I went to the clan, all the passers-by looked at me with fury. When I arrived at the quarter, Fugaku was indeed waiting for me. "I don't. To the Irionans for an examination." "Hi." I squeezed out in surprise and went to complete the task. After examining me, the doctors said that my arm and ribs were broken. After plastering my arm and anointing the place where the rib was broken, they sent me to Fugaku. The conversation was meaningful. I will not retell it. Too much swearing. With a broken arm, I went to theory. After listening to all the eloquently spoken words, we began. At home after classes, I dispersed the chakra through the channels. Then I had dinner and went to bed. 4.5 years passed at this pace. The academy was approaching. Over these years, I learned to walk on trees and even water. I also learned my element. More precisely, there are 2, Raitan and Katan. From Katan I can make a fireball and phoenix flowers. And with Raitan I can only strengthen a katana. Although this is not bad. I am good with a katana, and I hit 10 out of 10 with kunai. I hardly saw Shursui all this time. As well as Naruto. After that fight, Sensei decided to intensify training. But now he decided to back off. He said that I have grown up and can train myself. So the day of entering the academy came. We stood in rows and began to listen to Sarutobi's speech about the will of fire and all that. I was not worried about the speech, but about Naruto, whom I could not find. And then I finally found him with my eyes. At that time, the speech was ending and we were divided into 2 groups and sent to classes. I was lucky. The guys in the class were like in Kanon. All the girls were sticking to the second Uchiha in the office. And I was sitting quietly by the window. Naruto sat down next to me. "Hi, how are you?" "Fine. Where have you been all this time?" Yasu-sensei decided to intensify his training after that fight. There wasn't enough time or energy to leave the training ground. "I see. Did you even sleep there?" "No. I was carried unconscious to the bed." "Wow, it's cruel to you there." In response, I simply threw up my hands. Then the teacher entered the classroom. "So, hello? My name is Yumino Irika." Then he repeated something similar to the Hokage's speech, and announced our program for the entire time of study at the academy. I already knew everything he was talking about. It was boring to sit and listen to him. I fell asleep right on the desk. Naruto woke me up and said that they gave us sheets with the test. I wrote everything, handed it in and fell asleep again. I dreamed of my mother and the wolf, her call. After the test, I went home. There I meditated for fucking 4 hours and then eventually fell asleep. Waking up at 5 a.m. as usual, I realized that there were still 3 hours to go before the academy. So I got up, ate, took a shower, went to morning training, and did a lot more. And then I arrived at the academy half an hour early. In short, it was cool. "Good morning, class," said Irika. "Good morning," was heard languidly from the corners of the classroom. By the way, I divided the class into parts. The first part is the Sasuke fan club. Then come the sloth guys. This is Shikamaru, Naruto, Choji, and I think you get the idea. Well, there was also Sasuke. He was always alone. Well, the rest are no names that no one notices. Yeah, yesterday was a real horror. Flashback. These little fifos come up to me and say, "Listen, don't even go near Sasuke-kun." Sasuke looked at this and almost laughed out loud. And I wasn't going to, otherwise I might get infected with stupidity from him. At this he pursed his lips and looked me straight in the eyes. "Oh yeah, how dare you call Sasuke-kun that?" As a result, I had to listen to a whole break about how cool, handsome and strong Sasuke-kun is. End flashback. That same day I went to train with Kunai. I tried to repeat Itachi's throwing technique. Suddenly something rustled in the bushes and a sea of senbons and kunai flew at them. The opponent dodged and crawled out of the bushes. Not a bad reaction. That smile. Sure sway. How he's grown. Thank you. Do you want to have a sparring session? Let's. We parted, bowed and started the fight. At first I sent 3 kunai at him. He parried them with a short blade and began to close the distance. I pulled out my katana and also ran at him. Close combat ensued. He was in the lead. Then I jumped back and threw phoenix flowers at him. He threw a fireball at me. Then I took up the katana again. Only now I filled it with lightning chakra. Then everything went in the same spirit. We launched different techniques at each other, fought in close combat, and simply threw iron. Wow, that was great. I really warmed up. Shursui exclaimed, removing the blade from my throat. Yeah. Let's go to a dango cafe? After such a sparring, I want something sweet. Let's do it. He smiled. We walked looking at each other. We smiled. I looked at him and understood. I fell in love. Entering the cafe, we sat down at a table. A waitress came up to us. Oh, hello Akuma-chan. Shursui-kun. Akuma-chan, are you as usual? Yeah. And the same for me and for her. Okay. Our orders were brought, and we started eating. While eating, we chatted cheerfully and told stories about what had happened in those years. And we sat doing this until the evening. Then we went together to the block and home. It's been half a year since Shursui and I trained together. Every 3 days we go to a cafe and eat sweets. And today, when we were sitting like this once again, Shursui said, "You know, I wanted to tell you for a long time. I love you." Dash. I blushed deeply and bowed my head. And I'm interested in whether you want to date me? Yes. I smiled and hugged him. He kissed me on the nose. And he walked me all the way home. See you tomorrow. Bye. I was surprised how our relationship developed. Within a week we were always walking hand in hand and sitting cuddled up to each other. Everyone in the clan knew about our relationship. And Fugaku-san decided that we could be engaged, and when we came of age, have a wedding. More precisely, he told him. We dated for another month. And then one day he invited me on a date, saying that it was very important. We were walking along the alley. So what did you want to talk about? Everyone in the clan was looking at me like that. They were clearly in a good mood. Oh, Fugaku-san, I asked him. Okay. He suddenly stepped forward and turned to me. Oh my God, he sat down on one knee. Akuma, do you agree to get engaged to me and become my wife in the future? Yes. Yes, I agree to everything. After all, I love you, Uchiha Shursui. His lips covered mine and I gave in. After our kiss, he put a ring on me, and I put a ring on him. Then we went to the clan and everyone asked us when we would get engaged. Shursui answered tomorrow and I was very surprised. After the ceremony we were very tired. But we were given a 2-bedroom apartment. And after parting ways we went to bed. But before I could even put my head to the pillow, Shursui was already waking me up. Hey, wake up. It's time. We'll be going to the academy soon. Well, I just fell asleep. Come on, come on. Breakfast is on the table. Okay. That's good. Go change your clothes, wash up, and go eat. Okay, Mom, I said jokingly. He smiled. I washed my face, changed into a mesh t-shirt, black knee-length pants, and a sleeveless white yukata with the Uchiha clan crest on the back. I had breakfast and went to the academy. There I just slept during classes. It's frankly boring there. Another half year of my life has passed. I turned 7. And here I am blowing out the candles, wishing to be with Shursui forever. Naruto gave me coupons from Ichiraku. Fugaku and Mikoto, they gave me something that I could not imagine at all. They gave me a kunai yandame and a scroll with a description of the Haration. And Shursui, he gave me a pendant with our photo, in which a seal was built in which you can seal something personal. We celebrated cheerfully. But then the next day came. I went to the academy. And when I returned home I didn't find Shursui. Well, they must have sent him on a mission. Suddenly a hawk flew into the window. He gave me a note from my beloved. It said, "Come quickly to the waterfall near the clan. It's urgent." I ran there as fast as I could. And I saw him. He was standing with his back to me. Shursui, what's going on? He turned around, and I saw that he was missing one eye. Who did this? Danzo. I fucking hate him. But that's not the point now. You see, I love you very much. The clan is organizing a rebellion. And Itachi was given a mission to destroy the clan. You must run. And what about you? I love you very much. He hugged me. Then he walked away, tore out the eye and handed it to me. I want to ask you to take it. No, I can't. I can't. But it was too late. He thrust the Sharingan into my hand and jumped. No. 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 I repeated this over and over again. The pain in my eyes intensified. Tears ran down my cheeks. They were bloody. The Manjikyu Sharingan awakened. I sealed the eye in the pendant. Shursui's gift. Then everything went downhill. I don't remember how I went home, and then everything was like in a fog. I walked from Konoha. Ran away from it. When I went a long way from the village, I found a small hut. Entering it, I looked around. A room with a bed and a nightstand. A large layer of dust. No one has been here for a long time. I decided to tidy up the hut. Having made my way there, I fell asleep on the bed. When I woke up, I didn't understand where I was. But then I remembered Shursui's death, my escape from Konoha. I decided that I would stay here for a while. It was dangerous to return to Konoha. Looking at the pendant in which I had sealed my eye, I decided to train. Remembering the scroll with the technique that I had been given for my birthday. If I learned this technique, I would become even stronger. I also had many scrolls with descriptions of the techniques that I wanted to learn. But I didn't have enough time then. And now I had a ton of it. There was only one thing left to figure out: food. Well, you can hunt, of course, but you can't eat meat alone, although there are herbs in the forest. At least that. I have a lot of weapons with me. I think I can live with them. This is how my fun life in the forest began. Konoha. Hokage's residence. Hokage-sama. Akuma Uchiha has disappeared. She's nowhere to be found. How did it disappear? Well, that's how it happened. Flashback. Akuma was walking to the store. A cat and a monkey were following her. Cat, listen, maybe we should forget about it. Let's go eat. Monkey, the Hokage will chop off our heads. Cat, but he won't find out. And flash. We got distracted, and she disappeared. How did you get so distracted? Hiruzen didn't know what to do. For years have passed. A team of genin was assigned to catch a gang of bandits in the Konoha area. They walked for quite a long time and were tired. Then they came out onto a lawn near an old hut. Approaching the threshold, they knocked. The door was opened by a girl of about 30 years old. She had long red hair and blue eyes. Hello, did you want something? She asked pleasantly. Yes, we would like to spend the night here. The girl thought about it. She began to examine the strangers. Her gaze caught on the Konoha protectors. Okay. Thank you. Akuma's POV. Over the past 4 years, I have become stronger. I was even able to master Hiraishin. And I also discovered the abilities of my Mangekyo. Now I could summon Susanoo, create Amaterasu, and also use Kamui. I was very surprised to learn that among my abilities is it. There is a possibility that I am a relative of Obito. And so I was calmly getting ready to hunt, when suddenly there was a knock on my door. Looking out, I noticed people. Using henge, I opened the door. Hello, did you want something? I asked the strangers. Yes, we would like to spend the night here. I thought about it. It's dangerous. Although. Suddenly my gaze caught on the Konoha bandages. Okay, I decided. Thank you. They went into the house. Shinobi then. Oh well. The team consisted of a Jonin sensei with brown eyes and hair, a calm guy with ash blonde hair, a shy girl with purple eyes and hair of the same color, and a dunce with brown hair and eyes who had a dog. Well, introduce yourself to me, I asked them. My name is Rin Kurama, the girl introduced herself. She is not that shy. My name is Inuzuka Rei. The owner of the dog that was running around in a circle introduced himself. I am Hataki Raso, the ash-haired man said lifelessly. And I am Sarutobi Ran. The squad leader introduced himself at the end. Well, my name is Hina Okizawa. I came up with a name. Nice to meet you, the team of genin said in unison. Me too. I smiled and went outside taking the bow. They followed me out. I decided not to pay attention. But it didn't work. Turning around, I looked at them. Why are you following me? Our mission is to catch criminals who roam the districts of Konoha. And they may be here. Well, okay. I said and climbed the tree without using chakra. How inconvenient! But secrecy must be observed. Having settled down on a tree, I hid. Having started to examine the forest and the sky in search of animals that I could eat, I took an arrow in my hand. The prey did not keep me waiting long. Birds flew in the sky. In my hand, 2 more arrows. An accurate shot and 3 arrows pierced the targets. 4 pairs of eyes stared at me. Well, what did they expect? That I would not be able to hit from 10 meters? So many years of training were not in vain. I trained every day. From morning to evening. Of course, Hiraishin took up the most time, but now is not about it. And I was distracted from thinking about training by Rin's surprised voice. Hina-san, where did you learn to shoot like that? Here. Who taught you? Not satisfied with the answer, she continued asking. No one. I did it myself. But how? Silently. I nodded in response and went home. Then I prepared dinner. It was baked poultry and stewed greens. I put a plate in front of everyone and started eating. But before joining me, everyone looked at Inuzuka, who was sniffing the portions. Convinced that I didn't want to poison anyone, he nodded. Everyone started eating. After dinner, I made a bed for the guests and left. Lying in bed, I thought. I left Konoha a few years ago. Isn't it time to return? For years have passed. I have become stronger. I began to spin the pendant automatically. He gave it to me a few days before his death. I have not come to terms with his departure. Maybe he survived? Unlikely, but hope dies last. I woke up without henge. Thank God at 4 a.m. I quickly applied it back and went out. Damn, I didn't get to train properly. I took the basket and went into the forest. If you go further, you can find an abandoned mansion with a garden that bears fruit every year. Having collected the fruit, I went back. Suddenly I felt danger. I jumped back sharply and saw a kunai flying past. Enemies jumped out. Several people rushed at me. I got into a fighting stance. While parrying the blows, I sensed familiar chakra. Inuzuka jumped out with his dog and sensei. I stepped aside. They dealt with it quickly. Having finished, they came up to me. So you know how to fight too. I see. Bandits are a common occurrence here. You have to defend yourself. No surprise. I think these guys are exactly the ones we're looking for. He looked me over from head to toe and we went, taking the fruits I had collected and a couple of tied-up bandits. His gaze was full of mistrust. Disgusting. His gaze made my soul feel disgusted. I never liked it when people didn't trust me. But now I was lying myself, understanding their mistrust. Lying is bad. But if he started, it would be hard to get out. Entering the house, I decided to make breakfast. It was a fruit salad. After sniffing and nodding again, Inuzuka started eating, as did the others. They decided to stay for a while. To check that all the bandits had been killed. Since they had walked around the entire area, they decided to wait. Suddenly they would come themselves, wanting to free their comrades. Well, at that time, they had a joint training session. They were learning to walk on trees. I had to look at it with surprise. They offered me to try, explaining that girls have better chakra control. They literally chewed it up for me how to concentrate chakra in my feet. Deciding not to show my abilities, I fell on purpose. Then again, and many more times. As a result, I decided to stop wasting my time and just went to him. At that time, Inuzuka and Hataki were still trying to get in. 3 days passed like this. The criminals did not show up. The team began to gather. An hour later they were already leaving into the distance. Taking off my henge, I relaxed. How good! But I relaxed too early. An explosion was heard. The team was leaving in that direction. Damn! Without using my henge, I rushed towards the explosion. There lay Rei almost without chakra, a battered commander, and unconscious Hataki and Kurama. In front of them were several Kumo shinobi. Bad. Very bad. Kaito, fire dragon. I said, making seals. A huge dragon flew out of my mouth. Who are you? Asked Sarutobi. My name is Uchiha Akuma. I said my name for the first time in 4 years. The guy's eyes widened. So Itachi did it after all. Kumavets, running with a kunai in his hands, pulled me out of my thoughts. So they were also battered. They don't have much chakra. I felt it. There was a chance of winning. Dodging the blow, I struck back at his shoulder. The kunai pierced the flesh. A groan of pain. Then I took out my katana. One blow, his head flew to the side. The katana was already soaked with Raiden. I started close combat. I missed a blow to my arm. The kunai stuck out even though it went right through. A sharp wave of pain made me scream. But he wasn't left without wounds either. And then he didn't have time to stop my blow. It pierces him right through. Blood, a lot of blood. It's everywhere. The shinobi falls. He whispers something. Whispers and crawls to some side. He cried. Tears streamed down his cheeks. I bit my lip. How is that possible? It's terrible. But I did it myself. I took his life myself. And I am the one who will answer for it. But how? Sarutobi asked me. After all, the entire Uchiha clan was killed by Itachi. He left only his brother alive. I can't tell you everything. After all, this is my personal story, I said and picked up Rin. We walked in silence to my hut. So you are that very Hina? Yes, that's it. Now everything is clear. But listen, you used to live in Konoha, I heard about you. Your father was accused of controlling the QB during the attack. And then you disappeared. They said that you left after Uchiha Shursui. I wanted to. But he asked me not to do it. And he also told me to run away from Konoha, because Itachi wants to kill the clan. That's why I ran away. Got it. Of course, you can do whatever you want, but I have to bring you back. We don't have enough shinobi, and you can finish the academy and join our ranks. Suddenly Rin began to wake up. Opening her eyes, she looked at me, then at her comrades, and then at the captain. And then she apparently remembered the events that resulted in her being unconscious. Rav Rin. My name is Kurama Rin and I am a genin from the Hidden Leaf Village. It all started when we were given a mission to catch some bandits. We searched for a long time, but couldn't find them. And on the second day, our commander suggested asking to spend the night in a house in the forest. We agreed. A beautiful girl opened the door for us and introduced herself as Mina Okizawa. Then she left the house and we followed her. And then I saw something unusual. She took 3 arrows, shot them, and hidden them. I was very surprised. Not every master in Konoha can shoot like that. When I asked, she answered as if she was hiding something. Then she cooked dinner. Using sign language. We asked Inuzuka to check the food. Everything was fine. In the morning, when we woke up, the mistress of the house was gone. The captain and Rei went to look for her. When they returned, they brought the bandit. After interrogating us, we decided to stay in the house for a few days. Sensei decided to show us how to walk on trees using chakra. He also suggested Mino. She went in pretty quickly. Although I went in on the first try, she went in too quickly for an ordinary person. At night, when Sensei and Raza fell asleep, Rei said that he and the captain saw Mino-san fighting for some time against a large group of bandits. She is definitely hiding something. And now it's time for us to return to Konoha. I really want to know what Mino is hiding. But we've completed the mission and need to take the next one. And now we're almost out of the forest, but the Kumo shinobi don't let us do it. I didn't even notice how I was knocked out. I woke up lying next to my teammates. A girl a little younger than me with black hair and eyes of the same color was sitting above me. NPOV Rin. Who are you? Asked Rin. I am Uchiha Akuma. But yes. I left Konoha before that. I see, sorry. The girl was embarrassed when she saw Akuma's look. What? Are you looking at me like that? But we are in Hina-san's hut. I am Hina Okizawa. So you used henge? Well, yes, so what? That's enough already. And where does this hostile attitude come from anyway? Akuma interrupted the unpleasant conversation. Sorry, Rin looked down. You're lucky, you weren't hurt too badly. But you still need some rest. Kurama didn't answer. She just nodded and lay down. Akuma's POV. No, this is some kind of FCK. Besides being cheeky, she also asked such questions. FCK, I'll rip your ass. I caught myself thinking like this. So, apparently, I'm turning into Haiden. Now Raza, who has just woken up, is looking at me. NW, who are you? He asked. Apparently he saw my very angry face while I was thinking up a reprisal against his teammate. You're fucking annoying. Let me sleep. Inuzuka shouted she's Akuma Uchiha, aka Hina Okizawa. That's it. Any questions? Apparently he wasn't unconscious and heard my conversation with Rin. What do you mean? Where from? How? Hitaki, completely confused, took out a kunai. They got him. That's what I think. No, to be honest, I thought that Rei was dumber than Raza. But in an emergency, Inuzuka weighs the situation quite adequately, unlike his teammates. About Kami-sama, they seemed to calm him down. Then the one we forgot about coughed into his fist. He is the teacher of this noisy trio. Well, since everyone has met, I think it's time to go to Konoha. He said. Yes. I think so too. I agreed. Are you coming too? Rei asked. Yes. I think it's time to go back. Saying this, I squeezed the pendant hanging around my neck. I think you would be happy, Shursui. Then let's move. Yeah. He has no shortage of enthusiasm. After these words, everyone gathered and we set out. Farewell to the forest, and the wonderful life in it. Before arriving in Konoha, we made a stop. We got ourselves in order, rested. Near the entrance, I threw on a dark cloak. And here is the gate. We entered and headed to the Hokage's residence. Walking along the streets of the village, I looked around. It felt like it hadn't changed. Entering the residence, we headed to the office. I felt mixed feelings when I saw the Hokage. Dislike mixed with anger. I wanted to kill him. As a result, I pulled myself together. "Who is this?" Hiruzen asked. "This? I'm myself," I interrupted the commander. "My name is Uchiha Akuma. It's been a while since we've seen each other, Hokage-sama." Having said this, I threw off my cloak. "No, you should have seen that face." The old man's jaw met the Hokage's desk. Then a fair-haired hurricane with sky-colored eyes burst into the office. Iruka was chasing after him. "Old man! Save me!" He couldn't finish because he saw Hiruzen's face. He walked up to him and looked at the reason for such strange behavior. "Me. Akuma-chan!" he cried out. Tears were streaming down my cheeks. His too. I spread my arms to embrace him, but he was ahead of me. My body was squeezed by his arms. "I missed you. I missed Akuma-chan." "Me too." So, we stood there hugging for about 40 seconds. The Hokage was the first to come to his senses. Akuma. Would you care to tell me where you've been all this time?" The voice was quiet. It was practically whispering, out of anger. "And really, where have you been?" Naruto confirmed the question. "Well, it's a long story," I began. "The thing is that evening Shursui asked me to leave Konoha. After all, according to him, Itachi decided to kill the clan. Deciding to lie, I continued, and of course I listened to him. Since he knew Itachi like no one else." I see. But where were you?" "You didn't answer my question." Sarutobi continued to press. "Well, in the forest. Which is not far from the abandoned daimyo castle." "I'm so tired of this conversation." "Oh, well, okay." He calmed down somehow strangely. During our conversation, Iruka managed to disappear. And the whole team stood there with ears hanging. I think they were very interested. "Hokage-sama, will you then allow me to return to Konoha and live on the territory of the Uchiha clan?" "I give you permission. At the moment, your peers have not yet graduated from the Shinobi Academy, and therefore you will graduate along with your class." "Hi! You may go. I will draw up the documents." "Thank you." "Naruto, let's go." I pulled him out of the office by the hand. "Wow, that was cool. At the end, you spoke so formally that it gave me goosebumps." Naru was impressed. I'm in shock myself. "Listen, let's go for a walk." "Well, go ahead." Naruto grabbed my hand and led me towards the academy, where Shursui and I often sat on the roof. Approaching the stairs, he told me to wait for him. I agreed and began to wait. He climbed up and I heard voices. "Hello Shika, Cho," Naruto said. "Hello Naruto. Guys, do you know who I found in the Hokage's office today when I was running away from Iruka?" "A human?" Shikamaru suggested. "The man with the chips?" asked Cheiji. "Well, what about more interesting options?" "We surrender," they said at the same time. "Get in," Naruto shouted to me. I climbed up on the roof and greeted them. Oh, their faces. Shiki's eye twitched and Cheiji dropped his chip. "Guys, are you feeling unwell?" I asked. "Hello Akekuma. Where are you from?" asked Shikamaru. "I think I broke it." Cheiji continued to look at me with his mouth open. "We all thought that you... well, that... died along with your entire clan." "No. I'm alive and well, and I'm not going to die." "I'm so glad you're alive," said Cheiji. "I think everyone will be happy." Shikamaru muttered. "And did you make the second Uchiha happy?" Cho asked. "No, I think it's better when the weekend is over. And also, don't tell me about me." "Okay? Okay," the guys said in unison. After this incident, Naru and I thought carefully and decided that it would be better to wait until the end of the weekend. We spent the night not at Naruto's, but under the open sky in a small apartment, and it was scary to take a step. Too dirty. We spent the next day demonstrating our abilities. Well, more precisely, I demonstrated and he watched. And then the weekend ended and the academy opened its gates. Uchiha Sasuke's POV. It was a normal day. The weekend was over and classes at the academy had started. Naruto wasn't very talkative in the morning. This behavior was unusual for him. Usually he was always sucking up to Sakura and making sarcastic comments to me. But now he was in a daze. He didn't notice the teasing of the girls that bothered me every day. As if waiting for something, he kept glancing at the door. Suddenly Irika came in. They exchanged glances and Irika noted, "Good morning, children. Today is an unusual day because I want to introduce you to your classmate. Maybe someone remembers her. This is Uchiha Akuma." A girl who hadn't been here for about 4 years came into the room. Everyone thought she died along with the rest of the Uchiha. But the body was never found. And now in front of us stands a grown-up girl with raven black hair and the same eyes. She stood calmly with a brick black face while Naruto smiled from ear to ear. The jaws of almost the entire audience met the floor, including mine. How did she survive? I thought Itachi killed everyone except me. I thought there were only 2 of us left. Me and my brother. Now my head is a complete mess. Partly I'm glad I won't be alone in the block. And while I was coming to my senses, they were just sitting to the side and laughing. The lesson continued. Everyone kept glancing at the new girl. During recess, I approached them. "Oh. Hi Sasuke, long time no see," she said when she noticed me. Hello? What is it? Are you unwell, Sasuke-kun? Did she do this to you? I shuddered when I heard this voice. Sakura. No, I'm fine. But you look so pale. Leave me alone. My patience snapped, and I shouted. This took the pink-haired girl by surprise. The next lesson was practice. We started sparring. Sensei, as always, called out random pairs. And I heard. Next fight, Uchiha Akuma vs Uchiha Sasuke. A squeal was heard after my name. We entered the ring. We bowed and Irika gave the signal. I rushed at her. She got into a fighting stance and got ready. A moment, and my foot flies into her face. She arched back and counterattacked with her foot to the body. Then, when my body flew away, a lightning-fast movement, and I rested my face in the dirt, and my arms were twisted behind my back. Slowly, she commented. NPOV Uchiha Sasuke. Akuma won. The girl stood up and extended her hand. Her desire to help was ignored. Sasuke stood up, dusted himself off, and walked away. Uchiha, almost all of them are extremely arrogant. Almost. Akuma was not one of them. She was fair and kind. 2 years have passed. Akuma's POV. It's been 2 years since I returned to Konoha. I turned 13 and soon I will have the exam for Genin. Although in strength I am not inferior to Chunin, and maybe even Jonin. And then the day of exams came. Akuma's POV. Now I'm sitting at my desk and waiting to be called. I'll have to go into the office and show the clones. And now I need to think about which clones to show. I've heard everything. I'll show the illusory ones. Or should I show the shadow ones? I'll ask Naruto. Naruto, what clones should we show? I listened. Illusory. Wait, do you know any others? No, I just asked. Okay. Irika entered the classroom. He looked at his list and said, Uchiha Akuma. I got up from my seat and went into the office with Sensei. He sat down at the table. Mizuki was sitting next to him. Speaking of him. A suspicious guy, I never trusted him. And he was looking at Naruto strangely. The examiner brought me out of the astral plane, coughing into his fist. I looked at them and made seals. Pooh and 8 of my illusory clones were standing next to me. I can do more, of course, but the office is too small. Well done, Akuma. This attire is yours now, Irika said and handed me a headband with the Konoha symbol. My serial number is stamped on it. I am a genin now. Thank you, Irika-sensei. The distribution is tomorrow at 9, don't be late. I said and jumped out the window. I can. But before I could reach the block, an ANBU in a cat mask appeared in front of me. The Hokage herself is waiting for you in her office. Okay, I'll be there right now. A little later in the Hokage's office. I walked into the office. Mr. Old Monkey was sitting in his chair. Did you call? It's you, Akuma. Yes, I did. You see, according to the contract, you were supposed to receive an inheritance after becoming a shinobi. And now that day has come. These are your keys to your parents' house, and their bank account. Thank you, Hokage myself. You may go free. I took the documents and keys, calmly left the office, and with the help of the Horatian teleported to the block. At that moment my patience snapped, and I tore myself away, running home. Opening the door with hands trembling with excitement. I saw a place where no one had been for 12.5 years. There was a photograph in the hallway. It was of my parents and me. It was hard to imagine how sad they were. To die 5 months after the birth of their daughter. It wasn't just me who had a hard time. Walking a little further into the house, I saw a letter lying on the dining table. Taking it in my hands, I read the addressee. Uchiha Akuma. I quickly unfolded it and began to read. Hello, dear Akuma. I hope you are the first to read this letter. Most likely, you have now become a genin. I would like to tell you a little about my family tree. My name is Uchiha Okami and I am your mother. The wife of Uchiha Karasu, your father. Your grandmother had the same name as you and your grandfather was yokai. What a coincidence. I also had a brother, Obito, but unfortunately he died on a mission. I also want you to take my wolf summoning, because it is special. We have a secret room under the bed in our bedroom. There is a summoning scroll there, and a bunch of descriptions of different Suiton, Raiton, and Katon techniques. I also want to apologize for the fact that Karasu and I left you so early. We also decided that the Hokage could take the money from our account, so we left only a small part there, and we transferred the rest to an anonymous account that belongs to you. And the last thing. We love you very much and would like to spend a little more time with you, but it was not meant to be. I hope you have friends you can count on. And don't forget to rest after training, eat well, and remember we love you very, very much. After finishing the letter, I noticed that tears were falling on the sheet. I had to bite my lip until it hurt to calm myself down. I looked at the clock and realized there was plenty of time to clean up and move. Thank Kami, I had prepared before that because I knew everything. Having teleported home, I took the boxes and teleported back along the kunai I had left behind. So, in about 2 minutes, all the things were at my house. Then I cleaned up, unpacked my things, went to the store, cooked dinner, ate, and finally went to bed. I woke up at 8:40 and so I immediately jumped up, got dressed, took the bento I had prepared yesterday, and flew to the academy like a bullet. Well, how can I say I flew? I teleported using the beacon seal. I entered the office a minute before Irika. By the way, Irika was late, and I arrived at 9 o'clock. Having looked at the documents, this pineapple-headed one frowned. Suddenly Naruto entered the classroom. Having apologized for being late, he sat down. And Sensei began to speak. So, I congratulate everyone on passing the Genin exam. Now I will name the teams that you will work with. Team number 1. Team number 7 Uchiha Sasuke, Uchiha Akuma, Uzumaki Naruto. At this Naruto and I gave each other a fist bump and Sasuke exhaled with relief and Harino Sakura. What? But the teams consist of 3 Genin and a Jonin. Mentor Hatake Kakashi. Excuse me, Sensei, I raised my hand, but why are there 4 Genin on our team? The thing is that we have too many people graduating this year and there are more people on your team. Team number 8. I didn't listen any longer, I just looked at my teammates. Then the mentors came and took their teams. Kakashi was still not there. An hour passed. 2. 3. At that point, Naruto and I got tired of waiting and got down to business. I took a bucket of glue from the academy's storage room and my friend dragged, I don't know where from, a bunch of feathers. Then I set the trigger, and we started waiting. Another 30 minutes passed, and then this one-eyed devil comes in. I felt that it was him, not a clone. The door opens and he comes in. And glue pours on him, and then the feathers complete the picture. I don't like you anymore. Likewise, Sensei, Naruto answered. I'm waiting for you on the roof, he said and moved to the shunshin. Well, I don't know about everyone else, but I went along the wall through the window. At that time, Kakashi was washing himself off from all this mess with the help of clones and Sueton. And what about me? I did nothing. I just went onto the roof and quietly laughed to the side. Then my grief-stricken teammates arrived. Well, let's get acquainted. Tell me your name, what you like, what you don't like, your hobby, your life goal and dream. Maybe you can show me an example? Asked Sakura. My name is Kakashi Hatake. What I love and don't love is none of your business. It's better for you not to know about my hobbies. I have no dreams or goals. But you told almost nothing. If you don't want to tell me, I'll have to do everything for you, I smiled. Kakashi Hatake, 28 years old, 181 centimeters tall, 67 kilograms. Jonin S rank, known by such nicknames as Copy Ninja or Sharingan Kakashi. He has mastered 4 elements. He likes to stand for hours at the Konoha Memorial. He probably doesn't like competing with my guy. His hobby is reading the works of a certain Jiraiya. Is that all? Sasuke chuckled meaningfully. Cool. Akuma-chan. Not bad, said Kakashi, and now you introduce yourself. Akuma Uchiha, 13 years old, Genin. I like sweets, friends and training. I don't like traitors, liars and those who think that rules are more important than friends. With this I finally finished off the one-eyed one hobbies training and cooking. Goal? And I think mine is too strange. And the dream is to achieve peace between the hidden villages. I see. Now Yuhi nodded at Sakura. Haruno Sakura, 13 years old, Genin. Love a dreamy look at Sasuke. I don't like upstarts like Naruto. Hobby a look at Sasuke dream. She looks at him again, and he sits between me and Naruto goals. She tries to find Sasuke, but he uses an illusion. Okay then. He nods towards Sasuke. Uchiha Sasuke, 13 years old, Genin. I like tomatoes and training. I don't like it when girls stick to me. Hobby training. The goal is to kill one person. Dream to restore the clan. Well, and finally you Kakashi turned to Naruto. Uzumaki Naruto, 13 years old, Genin. I like friends and noodles. I don't like people who think they're cooler than everyone else. Hobby visiting Ichiraku Ramen. The goal is to make everyone in the village recognize me. Dream to become the best Hokage in history. Excellent. I'll expect you tomorrow at the training ground at 6 in the morning. And I advise you not to eat anything. You might throw up. NPOV Akuma. POV Kakashi Hatake. Great team. Fan, Avenger, Jinchuriki and finally Know-It-All. And why did I agree to take an extended team? Wait, how does she know that I often go to the Konoha Memorial? About how many elements I have? About the competition with Might Guy, after all. All this is very strange. She couldn't have been following me, I would have noticed. Then how? Something is not right here. NPOV Kakashi Hatake. Outskirts of Konoha. Uchiha Quarter. Akuma's house. Walking home, Akuma sighed. On the way home, she felt like she was being followed. But whose? Putting her thoughts aside, she decided to wash herself. Undressing, she plunged into the water. The warm water pushed all her worries into the background. She sat in the bathroom until the water cooled down. Realizing that she couldn't sit any longer, she got up and put on tight white breeches, a black top, and a white haori with wide sleeves and the Uchiha clan's monogram. She remembered about the summoning. Walking into her parents' room, she moved the bed. Under it was a circle drawn, inside of which was a ligature of seals. Taking a kunai, the girl cut her hand and dripped blood onto the seal. As soon as the blood hit the circle, it glowed yellow, and a hatch appeared from there. Walking there, she saw a small library. In the middle, there was a table with a white-gray scroll on it. Opening it, she saw the summoning seal. Akuma's POV. Entering the library, I found a summoning scroll. As soon as my chakra hit it, a loud bang stunned me. And going inside myself, I found a small wolf in front of me. So it was with you that Okami asked me to make a contract, he said suddenly. Yes. Apparently. I dug in. Before we sign a contract, you must know the conditions. After these words, my gaze was fixed on him. What conditions? Our summoning is special because the summoner chooses after death, either to pass the summoning on to someone, or to become half human, half wolf. Meanwhile, he continued, your mother chose the first option, and now you are the full heir to our summoning. And if you become one of us, you will become Haim of our tribe. After all, it was your family, only yours, that owned our summoning from the foundation of the chakra. You are 87.5% Uchiha. Your great-grandmother was from the Okamizu clan which was defeated, and the surviving people scattered around the world. We were the patrons of this clan. At the moment, you are the head of a long-forgotten clan. After all, you are the only descendant of the main branch. Well then, now you are familiar with all the conditions. Do you agree to sign a contract? Agree. Then please follow me. Another sharp clap, and we are in a small town. This place was unusually beautiful. The sun is shining, cute and modest stone houses, a well-kept street, shopping arcades, and a fountain. Children were frolicking in the street. But they were unusual. Each one had a tail, and wolf ears of gray or white color. My escort also looked different. In front of me stood a young guy with silvery, slightly disheveled hair, snow-white ears and the same tail. A sharp chin and nose. Radiant blue eyes. He was dressed in a combat kimono, black. Wow! Where are we? In Hawaii Dash. Our call lives here. Cool. Follow me. Yeah. We walked along the central street into the city. A little later we were already standing in front of the largest and most beautiful house. Entering it, I saw a beautiful and rather cozy interior. In a small hall sat a girl of about 25 years old. Looking at me, she smiled and said, Hello, I assume you are Akuma? Yes. So you agreed to accept the call? Certainly. Excellent. Here you go, she handed me the scroll. Write your name in blood, and put the prints of all your fingers. Having completed all the actions that were indicated to me, I closed the scroll. Your bodyguard will be Shiro. She nodded at my escort. You've already met. It's clear. And now, Shiro, couldn't you show her Hawaii in all its glory? Yes, sure. Wait, I can't. I have training in the morning. Time flows differently here. While 6 minutes pass here, 1 will pass in your world. So don't worry. If you're gone for an hour, nothing will happen. Well, yes. Let's go. He took my hand and led me outside. It was a little darker there. We walked along the shopping arcades. He showed me the whole city. We agreed on training on weekends. He gave me local money, and I picked up a katana that conducted chakra. Then it got completely dark and he led me to the center. There was a big bonfire. Children were frolicking around. Sparks rose into the sky and burned like stars. At that moment, I felt chakra. It filled the air. This chakra glowed with happiness. It was the first time I felt this. I was having fun with everyone. And suddenly the bell rang. Everyone stopped. A small group of people with instruments came out to the center. Among them, I recognized the cello. Memories surfaced on their own. I played the cello in that life. I will have to ask later. Music pulled me out of my memories. It was slow. But over time, it picked up the tempo. Everyone began to sing. There lived one clan in the world. They knew no troubles. And they lived, enjoying the moment. They always had room for them. Who was deprived, who was lost. One day one of them saved a wolf. And in gratitude he gave them all a second life. Now we are all here. Now we are among them. We have become a big family. We will live together for a long time. Love and joy live among us. And the place is still there. And the place is still there. There's something for everyone here. Now we are all here. Now we are among them. We have become a bigger family. We will live together for a long time. After this song, Shiro said that an hour had passed in our world and it was time to return. I agreed and he folded the seals. Pooh! And we were back in the basement, and Shiro was sitting next to me, having taken the form of a wolf. He looked at me and said, I am your bodyguard and will be there for you in both worlds. Fine. I can pretend to be a pet. Cool. Can you become smaller? No problem. And one more thing. Don't say it in front of people. It'll just be weird. Okay. We left the library, taking the scrolls with the techniques. We closed the hatch, put the bed back, and went to have dinner. I cooked meat for him in the oven. And for myself, I took yesterday's onigiri. After dinner, I laid down on my parents' bed, and Shiro laid down on the sofa. Commentary on Part 15. Sorry I haven't posted for so long. This happened because my fic was temporarily blocked. But fortunately the chapter turned out to be longer. Many thanks to those who support me even when I don't post chapters for a long time. Your author Heartsuit. Teamwork. At 5, Shiro woke me up. He gently shook my shoulder. He was in human form. I made breakfast. You're just gold, not a bodyguard. He blushed slightly at these words. However, he overcame his embarrassment and went downstairs with me. There was also a bento on the table, with onigiri and meat. The meat was for him. I ate, sealed the bento, and we went to the meeting place. Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto were there. The pink-haired girl started screaming, but I didn't listen. I walked calmly. Shiro confidently walked next to me. As soon as we approached, Naruto began the interrogation. Hello, Akuma-chan. Who is this? Is this a wolf? Is he your pet? Hello, Naruto. Sasuke, Sakura. Yes, this is a wolf. Meet Shiro. Shiro approached them and sniffed them. Sasuke looked at him and grinned. Shiro let him pat him behind the ear. A few hours later, Kakashi showed up. I was meditating at the time. Kakashi-san, you're late. I was helping my grandmother cross the road. Through all the roads of Konoha or something, I said, releasing my anger-filled ki. Oh, calm down, he said, already slightly tense. Okay then. But if you're late again. Yes, I understand. Fine. Well, that's it. This is the training. Your task is to take these bells from me. But there are only 3 bells here. Yes. One of you will go back to the academy, since teams must consist of 3 genin. Well, that's clear. Any questions? Well then, let's start on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. At the end of the countdown, everyone hid. Naruto initially planned to attack openly, but I grabbed him by the scruff of the neck and hid. Later, we found Sakura. She was lying unconscious. Kai! I whispered and removed the illusion. What? Where am I? Where is Sasuke-kun? Sasuke is fine. Why? I saw how Kakashi-sensei pierced him with needles and kunai. It was an illusion. But I removed it. I can notice genjutsu of that level. Let's go to Sasuke-kun. Right now. Shiro, did you give him a kunai? Shiro wanted to say, but remembered that he couldn't talk in front of people. So he just nodded. Great. Naruto, Sakura, put your hands on my shoulders. They did as I asked, and I used Hiraishin. As soon as we were near Sasuke, his eyes widened in surprise. So guys, I have a plan. Sakura, you go to the left in the bushes and release Sensei with kunai. Sasuke, you'll be on the right, attack with katan. Naruto, go head on and use clones. Sasuke and Sakura, you have to destroy a couple of clones so that Kakashi thinks that we're not working as a team. Okay? The plan is good, but what will you do? I'll come from behind and cut off the bells. Fine. Since there are no questions, then let's begin. Everyone took their positions. First Naruto made clones and went head on, so to speak. Then fireballs rushed at him from cover. Kakashi's POV. When Naruto came at me with clones, I didn't suspect anything. He ran head on, and suddenly kunai and fireballs flew in my direction. I had to put down my reading, because he was almost burned by a ball. They don't work as a team. Balls and weapons kill clones. But then something happened that I didn't expect. A kunai that Sensei used flew past. It had a seal on it. A sharp flash blinded me. It was a strange blue color. The attack stopped. I heard a bell ringing. Opening my eyes, I saw Akuma's face. She was smiling and ringing bells in front of my face. Well done, and what will you do with them? After my word, she looked at the bells. I'll give them to you, she said, and gave them all to her teammates. But you will go to the academy. Yes, I know, I listened to you. They adjust to each other so well. And I just cut off the bells. No, Akuma-chan. You coordinated all our actions. And we just carried out. This is wrong. That's right. Take the bell back. I barely did anything. Sakura confirmed Naruto's words. Akuma had a plan. And it was very cunning. She gathered them, gave each of them a task, and took on part of it herself. And then, in order to strengthen the newly created bonds, she sacrificed herself. A brilliant move. And that illusion depicting Hiraishin was needed so that I would subconsciously close my eyes. Konoha's yellow lightning was famous. And I am his student, so I knew about the God of Thunder. However, the flash was not like Sensei's. Strange. But still, they passed. I paused for greater drama, took a deep breath, and said quietly. Passed. Hooray, everyone shouted except the Uchiha. Akuma smiled shyly, and Sasuke chuckled. I just sighed. Problematic, I remembered the eternal phrase of Shikaku-san and his heir. Although, it is inherent in every Nara. Taking the book, the reading of which was interrupted by fireballs, I left, having agreed to meet near the Hokage's residence. NPOV Kakashi. Akuma's POV. As soon as Sensei left, I turned to the team. Well, do you have any plans? Maybe we should celebrate? Let's. Sasuke-kun. Let's go on a date. I have things to do. Sasuke muttered before disappearing. So. Good. Sakura, are you with us? Of course not. The pink-haired girl exclaimed and left. Okay then. Let's go, Naruto. Where to? To Ichiraku? No. We go there often. Maybe to the Dango Cafe? No, I'd rather go to Ichiraku. Well, okay. Let's go, Shiro. You like sweets, right? He just nodded in response. Well, I went to eat something delicious. In Konoha, there is only one place that makes the best dango mitarashi and mochi with anko paste. This place is a tea house that has appeared in the anime, Naruto, more than once. For example, Itachi and Kisame sat here. And I am also a frequent guest, along with one person. Mitarashi Anko. We met her in a very funny way. Flashback. I had just turned 6. I often came here after training. And then one day I came and, as always, ordered a portion of Mitarashi, and they told me that they had removed them from the menu. The girl sitting next to me suddenly stood up, slamming the table hard. How else should I understand this? Why the hell did you remove my favorite dango from the menu? Forgive me. But I ask you not to make a fuss. What did you just yelp there? While they were having their conversation, I was getting acquainted with the new menu, stepping aside. Anko-san? Please leave this place. He stopped speaking, as a terrifying ki wafted from my side. Huh? What is it? I turned around. Where did the Mahdi with the bean paste go? My whisper sent a herd of goosebumps down the waiter's spine. They were removed too. Now, in the building, there were 2 persons capable of destroying everything there. We went together to the head cook, explained the situation to him. The explanation was accompanied by ki waves, and put forward our demands. I walked home satisfied, and did not notice the looks of passers-by. I did not care. A week later, everything was returned. And Anko-san began to help with training. Once she even made me live in the forest of death for a week. But it was good for me. I was able to remember all the inhabitants and the forest itself, although they all beckoned me to put them in their mouths. And when I left, she got bored. However, I had to come back. We met again only 2 days after my return. As always, she was sitting in her favorite place. And she was eating dango. And flashback. Hello? As always, I'm here. I said to the waiter. He just nodded and left. Well, how was it? Did you pass? Anko asked out of nowhere. Yes. Congratulations. Waiter. Her order is on me. Oh, it wasn't worth it. It was worth it. It was worth it. You passed Kakashi's own test. What's wrong? No one could do this before you. Everyone failed. I see. By the way, Shiro, come here. Shiro got up from under the table and came over. Meet, this is Shiro. Interesting. Is this a wolf or a special breed of dog? Wolf. I see. And where is our Machi and Dango? Almost ready! She heard the answer from the kitchen. Later, it was brought to us. I treated Shiro to mari, and he liked it. Then he ate the bento we took with us under the table. Then I decided to go train in the summoning world, since 2 hours here is 12 hours there. Shiro agreed. It was very interesting to train with my bodyguard, since he taught me to use the Okamiza clan's fighting style. It consisted mainly of dodging blows, then counterattacking, using the enemy's strength on him. 12 hours did not pass without a trace. Later, Shiro suggested that we spend the night here. Firstly, it is safe. Secondly, I will be able to sleep for a long time. And thirdly, I will be able to train more. Well, what a good idea. And I agreed. I was given a room that will be mine for 42 hours. I will first train, and then sleep. Country of waves After they came up with the night system, I started getting enough sleep. Now it's much easier to keep up with everything. In the summoning world, I can sleep 21 hours a night, in between training. So a week passed. I completed a mission, trained with the team, had lunch, completed the second mission, dinner, summoning world until the morning. And so convenient. By the way, Kakashi began to look at me very strangely. Although during the mission he reads his perverted books. Before lunch, we have training, and we spar. Naruto was Sasuke, I was Sakura. Thank God, the pink-haired one has cooled down in relation to the Uchiha. She is a secret fan, and openly only friends. We went on different missions. Walking dogs, collecting garbage on the river, weeding the garden, catching Tora, and so on and so forth. I was waiting for day X. And here it came. We had lunch together as usual and went to take on the evening mission, but when we were given the task of catching this monster called Tora, Naruto couldn't stand it. Old man, give us a mission, and a more difficult one. I'm tired of catching this animal. Naruto, are you sure? Yes. Please. But you just became Genin. I think they are ready. Kakashi, are you out of your mind? Yes, senors. Give them a C-rank mission at least. Not expecting such pressure, the Hokage took out a scroll with a list of C-rank missions. I think this will do. You will have to escort the bridge builder to the land of waves. Tazuna-san, come in. The one I thought of entered the room. An old man with tan skin, a drunken face, and a bottle of sake. So what? These kids will accompany me? You shouldn't judge people just by their appearance. Are you giving me advice? Yes, I highly recommend it to you, I answered, releasing my Ki. Okay then, let's go out today. I'll wait for you at the gate in an hour. Hi! We answered and ran away. I don't know about anyone else, but I went to the summoning world. I had to get ready and warn that I wouldn't be able to come there at night. And also call Shiro, who I send here during missions. And so an hour passed. We were standing at the gate. Kakashi, oh miracle, arrived before everyone else. Shiro walked at a distance from us the entire way. Suddenly I felt chakra. I looked at the sky, sun, heat, looked at the road, puddles. These idiots jumped out of the water and killed the one-eyed man. I was standing behind him. A look into my eyes, a second and they fall unconscious. And I just tied them up. Kakashi-sensei, come out already! Not bad. Now they need to be interrogated. I can handle this task. He looked at me questioningly. Sharingan. Now I remembered that I am an Uchiha. Okay. You can start. Damn. I was planning to torture them and screw me, but the plan went down the drain. Okay, I didn't want to show my Mangekyo. So I had to make do with an illusion, which is much more hassle. There was nothing different from the canon. Having said that they were hired by Gato, and that according to the bingo book their rank is about Chunin, which I doubt, I decided to sit down near my teammates. We chatted. At this time Kakashi had a private conversation with Tazuna. Then they came up to us and Sensei said, judging by what happened, the mission rank has increased. Now it's not C, but B or even a rank. So we're going back to Konoha. No please. If you leave, then my daughter will be heartbroken and my grandson will hate the Konoha shinobi. And then the whole village will die of hunger. The bridge builder began to speak. Our faces were filled with indifference. Everyone except Sakura. She even shed a tear. Well, there's no need to start. We'll continue the mission anyway. Kakashi looked at me in bewilderment at my exclamation. I kept my brick-like face. And I agree with Akuma. Let's finish the databee mission. I also think we can handle it, Sakura supported Naruto. And Sasuke just chuckled. This sounds like a revolution, Kakashi muttered. Okay. We'll finish the mission, but only on the condition that I send a message to the Hokage. I didn't even doubt it. Do you know everything? The signature Yukikov chuckle on my part made it clear to everyone that I would not start talking anytime soon. Meanwhile, I became more and more wary. Silence. I couldn't even imagine that we would walk in silence for so long. Even Naruto was silent. The tension was growing. Then a rustling sound was heard in the bushes. Shiro jumped out with a frightened white rabbit in his teeth. Stop, White! From above! I shouted, bent down and threw Uchiha and Sakura standing nearby to the ground. Kakashi, thank God, saved Naruto and the bridge builder. A huge sword reminiscent of a cleaver in shape of decapitator flew over our heads. It stuck into a standing tree and a middle-aged man with half a bandaged face and short brown hair landed on it. Momochi Zabuza is a former swordsman of the Hidden Mist, Kakashi said. I'm flattered, copy Ninja Kakashi Hataki. Give me Tazuna and you'll stay alive. Because I see there are too many kids here playing shinobi. Well, that's it. You're screwed. I'm really pissed. I'm not 13 anymore. Well, at least if you count my past life. You won't get it that easily, Naruto shouted. Don't you want it the easy way? We'll do it the hard way. The swordsman tried to scare us off, but I personally didn't even flinch. He was flying at us. I held my katana out in front of me, but Sensei parried the blow. Protect the customer. I'll deal with this. Hi! We answered and took a defensive position. Kakashi, just brilliant, hid under the water, and as a result ended up in a water prison. I was not very surprised when I had to save Sakura from a water clone of a missing Nin. With a precise blow of a katana with lightning chakra, I dispelled the clone. Not bad for a brat like you. He looked me in the eyes, his big mistake. To get out of the illusion, he needs to stop the flow of chakra, which means he'll have to dispel the technique he's holding Kakashi in. As soon as that happened, he said, and I thought the Uchihas were all dead. You won't wait. Then everything went as per canon. With the help of Sharingan, Hataki will copy all the techniques that Momochi will use, and we were almost washed away by the wave. Then Haku appeared and killed Zabuza. Kakashi checked the pulse, gave it to the young man. After all this, he fainted. Tazuna-san picked him up and dragged him to his home. Morning. Tazuna's house. Today Kakashi woke up and reported that Zabuza was most likely alive. Everyone was alarmed. However, the sane one-eyed man reassured them that he would be restoring his strength and health for about a week, and in the meantime we could train. So after breakfast we headed to the nearest clearing, surrounded by trees. So began the sensei, who approached on crutches. First of all, I want to know who can walk on vertical surfaces using chakra? I had to answer because of the long silence. Someone else? How is that? Naruto asked Sasuke in his ear. He shrugged. Well, everyone knows how to concentrate chakra in their feet. She asked the question point blank. No. My teammates answered in unison and without much enthusiasm. Then I leave this to Kakashi-sensei and I'm going to train too, I said and went to the neighboring clearing. Then I called Shiro, who went home to sleep, and asked him to bring the scrolls with the Suiton techniques. The thing is that during one of the training sessions I decided to test the elements, and discovered a new reaction of the paper to my chakra. It got wet. And now we are in such a suitable place, where there is water at every step. Having folded the seals of the water pistol, I concentrated. Of course, nothing worked the first time. It didn't work the second, third, or fourth. But on the 30th try, I fired a small bullet at low speed and it crashed into the trunk of a tree. By evening, I was able to pierce the large trunk of the maple standing in front of me. It cost me a lot of effort. Sakura came to me and brought lunch, Naruto ran up and asked for advice. And Kakashi just sat aside and watched. We managed to create a team. However, I never made it home. She fell to the ground from exhaustion. In the morning I woke up from a girl tugging at my shoulder. More precisely, as I later realized, it was Haku. We talked, and I wanted to save this guy. He really values Zabuza, which means that the swordsman is not such a bad person. Later, Sasuke came and called me to breakfast. When we were walking to the house, he began interrogating me. Well, who was it? The guy who woke me up. I helped him collect herbs. Did you tell him that you are a shinobi? No. I don't have a bandage on, so he probably didn't understand that. How did you even determine that it was a guy? Men and women have different body structures. And it was clear to him that this was a boy. Good. What did you talk about? About herbs, about people. And what kind of interrogation is this anyway? Oh, okay, forget it. So we quickly walked home in silence. The whole week passed like that. We started patrolling the bridge as soon as Kakashi recovered. And then one day Naruto stayed to guard Tizuna's house with me. Suddenly we heard Inari's voice. If anything, he was having a brain drain from Naruto and Kakashi. Commentary on Country of Waves. Don't forget to write comments, Rehart. After all, they are the ones who really motivate me. Day x day x The boy screamed and asked for help. I grabbed my katana and headed towards the screams. Having knocked out 2 of them and tied them up first, I had to wake Naruto and run to the bridge. I won't let Haku and Zabuza die. When I watched the anime, I cried, but that was then. And now, no one will regret anything. There was fog on the bridge. However, Kakashi and Sasuke were visible through it. I sent Naruto to help a friend and went to the sensei. Kakashi-sensei, I sent Naruto to Sasuke for reinforcements. Okay. Go help Sakura. No, she's better suited to be a guard. I'll help you. I answered, and dodged the sword. Then I folded the seals and summoned Shiro. He said that Inari would soon arrive with a disgruntled crowd. Suddenly, pressure appeared from the direction where Naruto ran. Kakashi grabbed Zabuza. I have a few seconds. Teleport to the Jinchuriki, immerse myself in the illusion, teleport to the one-eyed man and the swordsman, the Chidori is almost ready. I frantically tried to think of something. I don't have time. Kakashi is already flying at the missing Nin. A loud beating of the heart in my ears. I don't want it. I don't want them to die. I throw a kunai right in front of Haku's face. Flash. I'm standing in front of Sensei. My hands were on his hand. The hand that held the Chidori. I can't hear the heart anymore. Blood gushed from my mouth. You weren't to blame for my death, cough cough, and the death of Rin and Obito too. I saw his gaze filled with incomprehension, surprise, and pain. They must live. I won't let them die. From afar, you could see the people who work for Gado. Activating the Mangekyo Sharingan, I burned them in the black flames of Amaterasu. Taking off the pendant with trembling hands, I held it out to Naruto. My eyelids gradually fell. Soon, complete darkness came. Kakashi's POV. Seeing the flash, you could tell it was definitely the teacher's Hiraishin. After the flash, I felt like someone was holding my hand. It was Akuma. Blood gushed out of her mouth. You weren't to blame for my death, cough cough, and for Rin and Obito's death too. Where from? How does she know everything? I made a mistake again. I screwed up again. I allowed a loved one to die again. They must live. I won't let them die. I heard the screams of the mercenaries who were running at us a few seconds ago. They were burning in black fire. This is the ability of the Mangekyo Sharingan. Looking at the student's eyes, one could see the Mangekyo pattern, like the eye that Obito gave me. She inherited his eyes and will. And I couldn't protect her. She took off the pendant and handed it to Naruto. Her eyes slowly closed. A pop was heard. In the place where the wolf that belonged to her stood, there was a guy with ears and a tail. He was dressed in a white kimono. Is this that same Shiro? I suppose I should introduce myself? His voice brought me out of my thoughts. Well, that would be nice. I am Shiro Okamizu, summoning and bodyguard of Akuma Uchiha. Nice to meet you, Kakashi Hataki, Hakiyuki, Zabuza Momochi. Nice to meet you. So why did you take on this appearance now? According to the contract, I have to take her to our world. Having said this, he gave the pendant to me so that I could give it to Naruto, picked up Akuma, and disappeared in a cloud of smoke. I turned the pendant in my hands. It opened, there was a photo in it. It was Akuma and Shursui Uchiha. I don't know what connected them so strongly, but apparently he was dear to her, since she was squeezing him so much in her sleep. A week has passed. The bridge has already been completed and named the Great Bridge of Uchiha Akuma, and her grave was made on the cliff. Now we are already halfway to the village. Zabuza and Haku decided to start wandering. NPOV Kakashi. Akuma's POV. I opened my eyes. A gray ceiling, that's all I saw. Sitting up and looking around, it became clear to me that I wasn't dead, but lying peacefully in my home, in Haudashido. And then I noticed that the lavender growing in a pot on the windowsill smelled much stronger than usual. And then someone started climbing the stairs to the bedroom, apparently hearing the creaking of the bed. It was Shiro, in human form. He smiled. Thank God, you're okay. How are you feeling? Fine. What happened? You died. And your body was rebuilding. However, now you are one of us. He handed me a mirror. A girl of 13 was looking at me. She had dark gray hair, and ears of the same color. Her eyes were now brown. Her fangs had become larger and sharper. Her facial features had softened. Wow, I've changed so much. That's for sure. How long was I out? About a month and a half. For a long time. In your world, just a week. Although while you were sleeping, you had an eye operation. Now you have the eternal Manjikyu Sharingan, whose eyes were transplanted into me. The eyes that your mother asked to be transplanted into you when you become our Summonheim. You didn't expect this. And I was resurrected. 18 years have passed in Haudashito. In normal times, 3 years have passed. POV Akuma. It's been 18 years since I woke up after being reborn. Surprisingly, I look about 16 now. Shiro told me, of course, that we live 8 times longer than humans, but so much time has passed, and I have hardly changed. All this time I have been training. Agility, smell and hearing have improved many times, as well as mastery of the katana. And my arsenal has been replenished with the element of water. Recently I decided to leave the summoned world to help Naruto and Sasuke. Also, if necessary, I will bring my clan, which I inherited, to the war. While in my mind I was thinking about how to appear more effectively, I did not notice how Shiro approached. Akuma, Akuma, Akuma. What? What are you shouting about? You didn't answer, he frowned. Have you decided to come back after all? Yes. And you must stay here. No. I'll go with you. And who will look after the clan? You are my right hand, and I think one of the few who can handle the whole clan. But, if necessary, I will call you. Okay. But swear that you will do it immediately if you are in danger. I swear. I smiled and extended my little finger. If I don't keep my oath, I'll eat 1,000 needles. That's better, he said and winked. Need help getting ready? I'm not little, I'll get it together myself. Well, I never. I turned and went upstairs. Having got ready, I went outside. I was wearing a white jacket with wide sleeves, a black t-shirt underneath, tight pants on my legs and high boots, also black. Shiro came up to me. Are you ready? Yeah, can you tell everyone that I left? They'll kill me. I disappeared in a cloud of smoke before he could finish speaking. Home sweet home. I thought, standing in the bedroom. If I completely turned into a wolf now, I could run around Konoha and find out where Naruto was. So I did. The village was quiet. Everywhere except the Hokage's residence. I became invisible with the help of the lightning element. It works like Boruto's Rasengan, only it electrifies the fur and becomes invisible. In the office, Kakashi's team stood in front of Tsunade. Bingo! They look worried. Gaara has already been kidnapped? Got it. I'll go after them and help them. Naruto, Sakura, and Kakashi left the office and headed towards the exit of Konoha. It's actually quite expensive to remain invisible for a long time, so they need to think of something about it. They stopped only when they met Temari, but not for long. Then the pace only quickened. The desert was already in sight, but now they could stay here for a long time. A storm was approaching. Uzumaki sat on pins and needles, constantly jumping up and trying to get out of the shelter found by the Kazekage's sister. I just curled up so that the sand would not get into my eyes. After the storm ended, they set out again, and I followed them. Soon a village appeared. Team Kakashi and Temari entered. Unfortunately, I can't go there because the tracks will be visible in the sand, and without camouflage, I will attract a lot of attention, because there are no gray wolves in the desert. Only the next day Naruto, Kakashi, Sakura and Granny Chio, whom I had never seen of course, but it was not difficult to understand that it was exactly her, came out of the village. They were moving quickly because they were trying to catch up with Naruto, who was chasing ahead. Suddenly, a figure appeared in front of them. The bells on the straw hat were quietly jingling. A black cloak with red clouds, and the gaze of scarlet eyes from under the straw edges. NPOV Akuma. Naruto POV. How dare they? Akatsuki kidnapped Gaara and poisoned his brother. Sakura was able to help Kankuro, but Gaara is still in the clutches of a criminal organization. I was pulled out of my thoughts by a person who stood in our way. It was Uchiha Itachi. At the sight of this man, I felt an uncontrollable desire to kill. This desire appeared when I used the Kyuubi chakra earlier. But now, this hatred was not because of that. This freak killed his family. Because of him, Sasuke considered himself a weakling and hated him. However, I could not express everything I was thinking, because in front of us stood the fragile figure of a girl. She stood with her back to us, long hair fluttering in the wind. NPOV Naruto. Hu-T, Uchiha began, but a blow from the katana didn't let him finish. It was clear that they wouldn't let him speak. The girl's figure moved quite quickly, and it was difficult to notice her tail and ears. The blows were delivered with great speed but little physical force, so I had to retreat and put away the katana. Then I had to use techniques. Akuma folded the seals. Katon, fire dragon. She breathed out a stream of flame that took the form of a dragon that flew towards the enemy. Akuma's POV. I'm sure he'll dodge this technique. However, he won't dodge the next one. Right-un, sure no Nagar. I came up with this technique myself. Anyone who gets into the radius of the technique experiences clinical death, so you have to be careful with this. The sharp flash did not blind me anymore, because I often used it during training, which cannot be said about others. While I was approaching the corpse that was lying not far from me, Team Kakashi and Chio came to their senses. Who are you, Dadabi? I heard Naruto's voice behind me. You killed Uchiha Itachi. So easily. And what are these ERS? A tale. Real. Naruto, calm down. Sakura calmed her friend. We don't know if she's an enemy or an ally. The fact that she killed him is certainly surprising, and she doesn't look like an ordinary person, but your screams can only anger her, she added in a whisper. However, I heard everything. It wasn't Itachi. Most likely only 30% of his power in another body. But whose body? I smiled, still not turning around. But it was impossible not to feel those glances. Equals, and she showed her face. Akuma's POV. If I turn around now, I'll destroy all the mystery I've worked so hard to create. It's better not to show my face until the end of the mission, so as not to waste time explaining. So, the mask will help me. I took out a white mask with the red Okamizu clan crest on the forehead from the seal, put it on, and turned around. Who are you, Dadabi? Naruto repeated the question. Who, me? What the hell can I say? I can't think of anything. Although, my name means demon, so, Demon Wolf. Hey, is that your name? No pseudonym. Okay. We can't stay late, Sakura exclaimed. But what to do with her? I can help. We can't trust you. Well, no need. There's little time. We need to hurry. How do you know about time? Do you work for Akatsuki? While we were arguing, Chio approached the corpse in the black cloak and gasped. Everyone looked at her. I know who it is. This is Yura. Hurry up, my patient snapped, and I headed towards the land of rivers. They followed me. There is still quite a lot of chakra, so I don't even need to recover. Naruto soon caught up with me. Listen, Akumi. Just Akumi. Akumi. Thank you for helping us, but why? In a way, I helped not only you, but myself as well. In terms of? I'll tell you later. This time, we'll make it. They didn't fight Yura and didn't waste their chakra, so they won't stop. Gaara won't die, and Chio won't have to resurrect him. That's right. We didn't stop for a rest, although my chakra is running low now. It doesn't matter. I took out a pill and swallowed it. Naruto saw it, but he didn't say anything. Soon we found ourselves near a large stone with a seal. Guy's team stood near it. And here you are. We were sent as reinforcements, and we arrived even before you. We even managed to defeat a Saiyajin enemy. This is what the true power of youth is. Yes, Guy-sensei, Lee exclaimed. Now it's better to hurry and remove the barrier. Sakura reminded them. Niji? Already working, he said and activated the Byakugan. Found it. He gave directions and Team Guy disappeared from view almost instantly. Kakashi took his position and after a few minutes, the seal was removed. Then the pink-haired girl did her job. There were shards everywhere. Not a bad blow, but mine was better. Soon the dust settled. And before my eyes, a picture appeared that I was trying to avoid. But before we could do anything, Naruto lost his temper. Gaara! Gaara! Ha! And Itachi gave a great description of this idiot. Give him back. Get away from Gaara. And you try to take it away. He created a clay bird that swallowed the former Jinchuriki of the One-Tailed, and began to fly away. Naruto chased after him, and Kakashi shouted. Sakura, Chio, I'll leave this guy to you. Akumi and I are going after Naruto. It was clear what I had to do, and I followed Kakashi, who had jumped towards Deidara. Naruto was cursing and threatening the bomber at the time. The Akatsuki member himself was flying away, throwing ant bombs along the way. Kakashi slowed down and stopped Naruto. He explained his plan to him and ran up to me. A couple of minutes later, I was initiated too. Naruto distracted Deidara. I had to immobilize him, and Kakashi would kill him. As soon as Kakashi pretended to blow himself up, the Jinchuriki overtook me and started screaming and cursing him again. I went around from behind and paralyzed him with a weak discharge of lightning chakra. The one-eyed man jumped out and aimed his Sharingan, and then Deidara threw me back and cut off his hand. I fall to the bank near the gorge and get stuck in a tree. The ribbon holding the mask snapped. Then I heard the sound of a falling object. It was most likely a bird. Then there were the sounds of breaking clay and Naruto's voice, who repeated, Gaara, Gaara, Gaara! I tried to get up, but a branch prevented me, piercing my arm through and through. My arm ached terribly with each attempt to pull the sticks out of it. However, after 4 attempts, it became clear that I couldn't wait any longer. The poisonous chakra of the Kyuubi was floating around. Gaia. It was Naruto. As a result, I had to chop off the stick, leaving it sticking out of my hand. I jumped off the tree and headed towards the source of the chakra. Naruto was already sitting there beating up a clay clone of a missing nin. Naruto! Kakashi tried to come up and stick the seal on his forehead, but it didn't work. He was thrown back by a tail of chakra. I didn't act so rashly, and activating the Manjikyu Sharingan, I approached and looked into his eyes. In Naruto's subconscious. It's dark. But I can see everything. Corridors, water, pipes. And the cage Naruto is standing in front of. So. Long time no see, Kyuubi. The nine-tailed turned to me. We stood face to face, looking into each other's eyes. Akumi? Naruto noticed me too. Uchiho Kamizu. You again. I hate you. Yes, I know. You, stop making a fuss. Or not, so what? Otherwise I'll force you. You know my weaknesses. So what? Fine. That's great, I said and was thrown out of the subconscious. In reality, I woke up. Naruto, who was still unconscious, was lying next to me. Then he opened his eyes. I was sitting in front of him. How are you? It's normal. I ran medical chakra over his body. Does your head hurt? Nope. So you can heal too? Well, yes, not very good of course. What happened while I was unconscious? They found Deidara and are fighting him now. Found him? This bastard? I'll get him right now. You better not move now. My technique affected you very strongly. Technique? I heard the nine-tailed one talking about you being an Uchiha or something. So you're an Uchi. He didn't have time to finish. I took him and jumped to the side. A huge explosion appeared. Kakashi won't have time to use Kemui. I had to do everything myself. A moment, and the explosion is gone. Everyone stops. Gaara. I couldn't save him. Sorry, everyone looked at me questioningly. It's my fault. Sakura appeared with Chio. I went up to the corpse and knelt down in front of it. I put my hand on its chest. However, I'll fix everything. Right on pulse. This technique acts as a defibrillator, and it will also be able to start the SCS. I put my finger to my neck. A pulse appeared. Everyone looked at me with surprised eyes. Sakura looked at the former Jinchuriki. It can't be! Neji exclaimed. With the help of lightning, you started up his heart and his chakra circulation system. I turned around. And then the tape holding the mask finally broke. My face was revealed to everyone. Naruto POV. I remember the moment when her mask fell off. A smile that is impossible to forget. When she died before my eyes, I thought I had lost her forever. But now, she has resurrected, for the second time. Her face changed. She realized that the mask had fallen. She looked at us. Akuma-chan, I smiled. You again? Yes. I'm alive again. End POV Naruto. Akuma's POV. The mask fell. I just looked at it. Along with it, my image fell. Turning around, I heard Naruto's words. Akuma-chan. You again? Yes. I'm alive again. Kakashi stood looking at the ground. Guy, like his whole team, didn't really understand what was going on, so he kept quiet. And Naruto, he smiled. Then he came up to me and hugged me. Akuma? Is that really you? Oh, we forgot about Sakura. I turned around. Yes, why? Not similar? Well, not really, said Naruto, hinting at the ears and tail. By the way, they can't be, he began, but I interrupted him. No way. They are now a part of me. Only henge. Can I touch it? This is the phrase I foresaw. No way. By the way, they are very sensitive. At this moment, Neji woke up from his shock. Listen, who is this actually? This? I myself. My name is Akuma Okamazu Uchiha. I was on their team, but I died 3 years ago. It seems I only confused them more with this. Well, I mean, I didn't die, I was considered dead. But since I have an unusual summoning, I was able to reincarnate. By the way, this explains my appearance. Chio sank to the ground. That's right, poison. Sakura. Do you have a recipe for an antidote? Sakura rummaged through her pouch and pulled out a list. I ran my eyes over it. You can't get them here. It's okay. I have an idea. I'll be there in 10 minutes. I said and disappeared in a puff of smoke. How at Ashito. Once I got home, I immediately ran to the drugstore. I have 1 hour. The pharmacy had everything on the list. I grabbed the herbs and asked them to help me make an antidote. It took me 30 minutes to finish it all. Real world. I showed up 5 minutes later. Ready? Already? Yes. In the conscript world, time moves 6 times slower. Sakura tested the antidote. It worked. When we injected it into Chio, she fell asleep. Sakura healed all her wounds. An hour later, the Suna shinobi arrived. Commentary on, and she showed her face. Hello everyone. I understand that I have disappeared for a long time, but here is the compensation of 4 pages. Equals 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 meet Konoha. End of part 1. Equals 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 equals. Akuma's POV. After the Suna people arrived, Gaara woke up. I sat to the side and didn't show up, while Kakashi and Guy's teams were practically rocking me in their arms. My peripheral vision caught movement to the side. Turning my head, I didn't notice anyone. It seemed, maybe. Later, everyone moved to Suna. I was introduced as reinforcements from Konoha so as not to arouse suspicion. We didn't stay in the Hidden Sand Village for long, so after recovering, we moved to the Hidden Leaf. Apparently one of the commanders warned that there would be another person with them, so they let us through right away. Last time I was in too much of a hurry and didn't look around the village completely. However, it hasn't changed much. Kakashi knocked on the door of the Hokage's office. "Can I come in?" "Yes," came the answer from behind the door. We entered. "So you are Uchiha Akuma?" asked the woman sitting at the Hokage's desk. "Yes, that's right." "And why did you appear now?" "Firstly, to help. Secondly, because I finished my training in the conscript world." "The summoning world? What is your summoning?" "White Wolves Okamaza clan." Her eyes widened. "How do you know about the destroyed Okamaza clan?" "I don't just know about him. I am the heir to the Heim of this clan. And besides that, the clan is completely alive, thanks to the summoning. After death, many Okamaza were reborn as half-wolves, half-humans. As you can see, I am too," I said and pointed to the tail. "I see, and as I understand it, you have something for me since you came in person?" "Yes. I would like our clan to become part of Konoha." "Okay, let's say the clan joins Konoha. Who will rule it?" "You." "Yes, why?" "You're only 16, as I understand?" "You might not be able to tell by looking at me, but I'm already about 31, not counting the 16 years of my past life. In Haudashido time moves 6 times slower, and we live 8 times more people." "I see. I can give you free land that your clan has long occupied, but we may have problems with someone. By the way, about him. If he touches my people with even one of his bandaged fingers, I won't be responsible for myself." "Okay. Then I hereby declare that the Okamaza clan becomes part of Konoha." Commentary on Meet Konoha. End of part 1. So, dear friends, this was very hard for me, but you wrote comments and liked it, which really motivated me. I'm going to finish the first part of my brainchild here. It's hard to say whether there will be a second part, since the inspiration for "Death is not the end" has dried up. Perhaps I'll start a new FIC soon. A huge thank you to everyone who read, gave advice, liked and commented. That's all. Sometimes fate gives you gifts, good and not so good. And I got exactly such an unpleasant gift. No, of course I feel good lying under a car, but still. Oh, and the day started so well. I woke up, washed my face, combed my hair. My mom called me and said that I would have a little brother or sister. Oh, how I wanted to see who it was. But I was not destined. Why did I want to be a hero? Save a drunk man who crawled under a car? Why? When my mind started to fade, I felt warmth. As if the sun had warmed me. And then darkness. Neither warmth nor cold. Suddenly waking up, I looked around, several torches on. I didn't get it. Were they flying? Wow. And then a man appeared in front of me. Although I don't know what to call it. He was in a white yukata and white loose pants, with 2 small growths on his forehead. Hello? I began. "I greet you," the stranger replied. His voice sounded quite loud. "And this, excuse me, who are you?" "I am Hagoromo Otsutsuki." "What am I doing here?" "You died. However, I liked your action and I will give you a second chance. Only you will have to get used to the new world. Do you agree?" I stared at him. "They're giving me a second chance? But what kind of new world is this and, wait, Hagoromo Otsutsuki? That's from Naruto. So there's a chance I'll get into the shinobi universe? Okay, whatever. Yes, I agree. Okay then." Everything began to spin in a terrible kaleidoscope of colors. Opening my eyes again, I saw a woman of about 20 years old with black hair and the same eyes, who was holding me. My arms and legs did not obey. Shit. Then a man leaned over me and smiled, saying, "She looks so much like your mother, let's call her Akuma?" he asked. The girl looked closely and smiled too. Let's. Equals 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 part 2 equals 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 equals. And so 4 months passed from the moment I was born. And I understood everything approximately. My dreams came true and I got into the world of Naruto. My name is Uchiha Akuma and I look like my mother, although everyone says that I look like my grandmother whom I have never even seen. It turned out that the woman who held me was my mother from this world, and the man is my father. Their names are Okami and Karasu Uchiha. We live in the Uchiha quarter, of course. And we all have to survive the attack of the Kyuubi. Hokage is Minato. You ask, how did I know? And Dad never stops praising him. No, he's good, but damn. Another month passed. And then Sasuke was born. Everyone congratulated Fugaku and Mikoto, including my parents. I barely saw Sasuke, and then I noticed Itachi. A month and a half passed. When my mother was walking with me and Mikoto, we met Kushina. The conversation went according to canon. Damn, did it really happen that fast? I just learned to speak a little